Hello, Jai Hind, and good evening, everyone. I am Major Mohammed Ali Shah. I'm very happy to be in conversation with a young, budding author who has authored a book called Blissfully Yours Always. And this book is going to create ripples, it's going to take the world by storm. And this little girl was there at the Delhi Poetry Festival. Dolly Singh had organized this Delhi Poetry Festival just about a month or so back, and at the India Habitat Center, and I was doing the MC, and when I was the anchor of the show, she gave me a very nice compliment, and I was like, that made my day actually. And anyhow, things went on. Then recently, less than a month back, she sent me a message on Instagram that I met you at Delhi Poetry Festival, and we connected very well. And like how? And they wanted me to come over to Calcutta, the place where I was born, the place where I did my management from I am Joka. My sister lives there, Saya Shah Halim. So I was like very happy. I was like, yes, of course, why not? And then she asked me to write a blurb for the book. I wrote the blurb for the book, and even Kiran Bedi, the former IPS officer, former Lieutenant Governor, she has written the blurb of a book as well. So now let's go ahead and ask Antara Mohan about this book, what inspired her to write this book, how it can be made available to all of us, and how she plans to go about with her maiden book. Antara, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for taking our time, Antara.
Thank you so much, sir. It was such a pleasure meeting you at the Delhi Poetry Festival. The moment I saw you, I just felt like there was this instant connect, the way you were reciting all these shairis and everything. It was so beautiful. And the amount of encouragement and support that you've given me in these past, not even a month, it's been incredible. So the book, Blissfully Yours Always, is actually a sign off. So when I was very young, when I was back in 2004, I went to Darjeeling actually, and I was sitting in this
Oh,
cafe.
Darjeeling.
Yeah,
Darjeeling. You were doing this place, Merrick, on the way to Darjeeling.
I know, it's beautiful.
Merrick.
Mirik, yeah.
From Siliguri, then you go towards okay. I'm familiar with Darjeeling and Merrick. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I was very young. It was 2004, and I was sitting in Glenaries in Darjeeling, and I saw this foreigner writing her diary, and I was so intrigued. I was like, "Oh my God, what is this? So beautiful!" And then just a few months later, I happened to read Anne Frank's diary, the diary of a young girl, and that inspired me to write my own diary. But I wrote rigorously. But then, especially during COVID, during quarantine, I started my relationship, my diary grew stronger because I was alone. I had to go into quarantine several times, and that's when I started writing my diary. So my book is basically personal reflections through the unguarded pages of my diary. It's very real, it's very authentic. There's no, like, in today's world where there's so much filter and inauthentic stuff going on, it's very authentic. The reason why it's clicking with the people who the book was sent for sampling, it's because they're saying that it's so authentic. Every insecurity, there is a chapter in the book called Crushes and Kurukshetra. So it literally deals with a young girl's, struggle with crushes and attachments and instantly getting attached to this guy and then getting over it. And so I feel like it'll resonate with everyone from every age group. And it has a very big spiritual, connotation to it because I went to the Vedanta Academy where I spent 3 whole years studying the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads. So it's not some preachy book that gives you sermons, do this, do that. It's a very chill, it's a very naturally flowing book. So I think that's what will hit every generation.
Right. So where did you get this title from? Blissfully yours always. I mean, from where did you pick up this title? I mean, what inspired you to write this title, in fact?
So I felt like, so it is basically a sign off. So the book has many diary entries, and every diary entry ends with the diary entry itself. And blissfully yours always, Antara. Blissfully yours always, Antara. So since 2004, I have been writing my diary, and I just feel like this word bliss is so blissful. It just makes me so happy, and I feel like I am a very blissful person. And I have obviously seen lots of ups and downs, and the suicide of a close friend of mine as well. So there are lots of personal reflections. So that's how the
Say,
title.
say, what do you say?
Sorry, can you repeat?
You said something? What of your friend?
The suicide of a friend of mine in law school.
Oh, when you were studying abroad, when you were in UK, that is it that?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
And was she Indian?
No, she wasn't Indian. She was Singaporean, and so it was a very sudden incident, and so I didn't even know about it. But during my graduation day, when we were all so happy, and it was the day we all dreamt for. Our parents traveled from all across the world for us to graduate. My friend's degree was given posthumously, and I didn't even know what posthumously meant. I was in shock, and we were all like, what happened, kya hua, and then we were like, oh, Justin's no more, and we were like, what? The entire, we were like, literally our throats we were like gulping something. It was so heavy, and I didn't even know what posthumously meant. I was 21 that time, and I was like, oh, this person is no more. And just a few months ago, I met him in a seminar. We were discussing things, but even then, I knew that something was wrong, and I wish I had done more to help him.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And this happened how many days before the degree was given? I mean, so you didn't know all this while, is it?
So what actually happened, sir,
You
was
didn't know
that
that that person is no more and that person has taken his life.
no, we were. So what happened? What the story, which is obviously described in the book in detail, that really made me question life and why people are, stuck in this rat race. So what happened was that we were in this commercial law seminar. We used to have like tutorials and seminars in law school, and our teacher described this law called the Act of God. And Justin said that if you're saying that there is something called the act of God, that means you're saying that there is God. But I don't believe in God, because if God was there, He would have taken care of my troubles. He would have made me more stress free. He would have taken care of my worries. But I don't believe in God at all. And but then we had a debate in class in which we said that no, it's supposed to be for natural events, circumstances. Ki, suppose if we both are in this commercial agreement in which I commission you to send me goods, and there's a, let's say, a tsunami, and the ship drowns. So who bears the loss? Situations like COVID is also, can be said, it's act of God. Like basically force majeure, like such situations that is beyond human control, which is very much described in this movie called Oh My God, Act of God. So anyway, we were having this discussion in which Justin was saying that there is nothing called God because God has never done justice to me. And I debated with him saying that, Justin, we're going off topic, but there are so many beautiful things in the world. The sun is shining, there's so much kindness, there's so much, the fact that we're all sitting here in privilege, being able to study law in the UK, isn't it beautiful? Things like
Correct.
gravity, things like mango, growing from a mango tree. And he said that he just wanted none of it. He was like, no, I don't believe in God. And then I messaged him saying that, are you okay? If you need anything, I'm there for you as your friend. And he wouldn't respond. And several months later, I didn't see him much, but I felt like maybe he went back to Singapore, or maybe I couldn't see him on campus. And then when we came to know about the suicide during the graduation ceremony, a few of us got together to find out the reason for the suicide. And the reason for the suicide was literally that this guy never wanted to study law in the first place. So many times, if you watch Three Idiots, I'm sure the whole world has watched Three Idiots. and the amount of pressure that you have to study the certain prestigious degree, you have to do certain things, you have to get this law job in London and live in this apartment in London, these kind of pressures that people go through. He had gone through a relationship crisis. So there were several things that we came to know about, and the main thing was this whole thing of herd instinct. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So, that's something which, in fact, nowadays, there was a suicides thing, especially on social media, of Atul Subhash, and then there was Puneet Khurana, and then there was Mediratta ji, and then there was a couple which committed suicide in Nagpur. And I have just taken out a video of that, in fact, just 2 days back. And so it's really very sad. It's very sad. So this is something which people should be aware that they should fight. Everyone's fighting their own battles. No one should actually give up hope or give up their life. I mean, it is not. It is something which is only if you are alive as a soldier. If I die, I will not be able to fight for my motherland. Though I am prepared
Absolutely.
to sacrifice my life for the motherland, yes. And but our objective as soldiers is not to die for our country. Our objective is to make the enemy die for their country. In the process, if we lose our life, it's perfectly fine with pride. Why not? There are so many heroes who have given up their life for defending our motherland, and we salute them. So, Antara, so this must have really affected you. I mean, this episode in your life, and how important was that when you, since you said since 2004, you saw a lady writing a diary, and it was there in your back of your mind. So basically, it was always there in from your childhood to write this book, is it?
Not at all. Actually, so after this incident, a lot of us like friends, we were like shaken. We didn't know, and we were feeling like we are living somebody else's dream. Especially because the thing was that I belong to a family where I was never really forced that you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to get this kind of a job. So I've been very lucky because my father has always told me that he's always told me things like जो सब करते हैं यारो वो तुम क्यों करो, हम क्यों करें. He's always told me things like this. He's always told me that if you don't want to go to college, don't go to college, go play squash. You make sure that you give your best to it, you make sure that you practice for 10 hours and you become a squash champion, and I will support you. Because I didn't get to live that kind of a life. I had a lot of obligations. I had to take care of my six brothers and sisters. I being the eldest son, but I want to make sure that you don't have to do all these things. So I was in law school. I was basically in the same class as him, but I was living a more relaxed sort of a life. Even it was not relaxed actually, but as compared to the pressures that Justin was facing. So the book basically came up. So after this incident, COVID also happened, and just before COVID, I was living the dream. So I gained a lot of success in terms of internships, job opportunities in London. I used to always be in London in very lavish Airbnbs, dressed up in amazing outfits, meeting the partners of law firms, having tea with them, going for Christmas dinners with them, etc. And I was literally whatever I dreamt for, because I have always lived a very program life. That, oh, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. It's always been like following a schedule. But then when I realized, when I reached the greatest realms of success, I asked myself, am I really happy? Do I really want all this? Am I sitting with these people who themselves are so depressed? And I'm sitting with these people and I'm not feeling what I thought would give me happiness. I'm not feeling it at all. And then COVID actually happened, and then I came back home for a bit and I got time to reflect upon my life. And my parents always told me to go to this academy called the Vedanta Academy, which is near Lonavala. It's 1.5 hours from Pune. And they said, why don't you give it a go? Why don't you, see how it is and learn the basic truths of life? And I went there and I got to know like various truths of life, and that really changed my perspective. And in front of that, even the UK, even the high profile law jobs, everything seemed so small and so fleeting and temporary.
And could you tell us a bit about the Vedanta Academy, where you went to, and what did you study there?
So, sir, it was a 3-year residential course, and we were in the middle of this beautiful scene. I don't know if you've been to Lonavala, but I'm sure you must have been to Lonavala. So,
Of
uh,
course, of course,
yeah,
many times.
very, very pretty.
I
So,
did
there
my
was,
graduation from Pune, so we used to go there very often. Whenever we would
okay.
go from Pune to Bombay, we would cross Lonavala and then Khandala. Right, go ahead, please.
Absolutely. So it's nestled in the midst of this, Malavali. The place is called Malavali, and a beautiful, beautiful landscape. So there were lots of foreigners, lots of people from all. So the course was basically a self-development course for people who are 18 to 30-year-olds, and that's it.
Okay,
There
I
was
know what you're talking about. Okay, okay, you're talking about it's a naturopathy resort over there. You're talking about that one, right? I know. Okay, now I get it.
no,
Now I get it.
no,
It's near Takwe
that's
village.
close. That's close to the academy. That's not
Okay.
the one. That's close to the academy. So for ours was a very rigorous residential course, and we had to wake up at 4 o'clock every single morning. We had to, get ready, go for morning prayer. We had to study, do our self study for 1 hour. Go and engage in sports. There were lots of sports activities, right, from jogging to table tennis to cricket to everything. Then we had so we studied the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads. We studied a lot of English poems: Robert Frost, William Wordsworth, Road Not Taken,
Oh,
Mark
Robert
Antony's.
from Windsor. Okay.
Yeah.
Mark
So
Antony's speech, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft entered with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus have told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously has Caesar answered it. Yeah, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come out and speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me, yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all live 11 months, not without cause. What cause for the whole you then ought to mourn for him? Oh, judgment, thou art fled to British bees, and men have lost the reason. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must come back. And of course, daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud. Yeah, it's amazing. And the road not taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I'm sorry, I couldn't travel both. But being a traveler, long I stood and looked one as far as I could, and then took the other. Amazing, amazing. Okay, right, right. Go ahead. I'm very fond
So
of
we
poetry.
studied philosophy. Yeah, we studied philosophy through these poems. So the course was very modern. We discussed everything, right, from relationships to everything you can think about under the sun, because it was only 18 to 30-year-olds, right? And we had group discussions. So it was a very, very nice course, and I made friends for life. And it's been 6 months since I've come back, and I wrote my book. I collected my thoughts, and I wrote my book from my experiences from the course and prior to that.
Oh wow, that is so lovely. That's so lovely. And tell me one thing: who are the publishers of your book, Antara?
So the publisher is called Indie Press, which is an imprint of Westland Publications. So the book will be available on Amazon very soon and a few select bookstores as well, but they are trying to make it available to all bookstores. So I'll definitely let you know as to how it's all going.
Lovely, yeah, lovely. And it would be available online on Flipkart and Amazon.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what is the date of the release? By when do you plan to release this book? I believe in January.
It is. So we have our book launches planned in early Feb. So definitely by the 4th of Feb, it will be live in Amazon for sure. Kindle and
Oh,
Amazon, all of these places.
oh,
Yeah.
that's very nice. So you are soon going to be this author, this best-selling author, Antara Mohan. Antara, before I let you go, this one since it's 18 minutes 58 seconds now, and 18 minutes, as we all know, is a time for TEDx. They have a limit of 18 minutes. So now, being an international TEDx speaker, I would like to ask you: supposing your phone rings tomorrow,
Okay.
and supposing it's TED or TEDx, they want you to come and give a talk.
Oh, wow.
So, so what would you like to speak on? What's the idea you'd like to throw?
I would love to talk about the rat race from rat race to inner grace, because I was a person who was absolutely, all into the rat race,
Okay.
and always trying to like get somewhere, do something, get the best marks in class, get the best job, everything. But from that to going to a much more calm person through different, you know. Experiences in my life, I think that would be really important, because there's so many of my friends who are still in this rat race, and they still think it's so important to have a kid by 25, to have a second kid by 27, and I don't know, it's like that. So I would love to tell people to calm down. It's okay to be different. It's okay not to, live in this pretentious world where everything seems so, I don't know, everything seems so glossy and glamorous. So I would love to talk about that. In fact, there's a very famous quote that says, "Mental peace is the casualty in the theater of pretentiousness." So
Very well said.
yeah, so mental peace is so
Very
important.
well said.
I would love to talk about that if I am blessed enough to get a chance with TEDx.
That's very well said. In fact, I'm sure you will get a chance very soon. In fact, so the golden thing is be prepared. The opportunity will knock anytime, anyhow. You never know when you don't expect it, it's going to come. Andhra, thank you so much for your time. And lastly, before I let you go, because I would like to know your views on the Delhi Poetry Festival that when you had come, when I was the MC when you had seen. Could you tell us about a bit about that, about your experience at the Delhi Poetry Festival? And this message is particularly for my friend Dolly Singh. I would be sending this to her.
Oh, absolutely. So, one of the biggest compliments that I could give Dolly G is that I actually came for Sahitya Aaj Tak, and I bought tickets for that. And I had nothing to do with Delhi Poetry Festival at all. But but we just happened to go to the Indian Habitat Center, and we went to her festival, and it was absolutely amazing. I love the decor so much. It was so comfortable, and the kind of somebody, I don't know her name, I'm so sorry, but she read out a letter from Lahore, I think, or something like that. And it was so beautiful that we saw Khuni Baisakhi, which was amazing. And the sophistication, the beauty of it, Dolly herself being so kind, and you as the MC really, really, it was just amazing. And it was so good to meet my teacher, Kenashri as well, who's my Urdu teacher for the course that I take, Urdu courses. It was so good to meet her as well and see her in person. So thank you so much,
Yeah,
Dolly G, for
she
everything.
is very well respected. She's a big name. Kanashri is a very big name. In fact, in Urdu, where I'm all Javed Akhtar Saab, Gulzar Saab, they all know her. If you go to her Instagram account, I mean, of course,
Yeah,
she's big,
absolutely, absolutely. There was a lot of
right?
kindness in the
And
festival.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. In fact, she also has written a blurb for your book, if I'm not mistaken, right? Uh,
She has, especially because the book has a lot of Urdu couplets, and it really stands out. It's a very universal book, even though it's about Vedanta and Gita and all. It uses my book uses all Urdu couplets. It uses a lot of poems, like Robert Frost, "Men may come and men may go, but I go on forever." The Brook. My book is very universal, so it will make an impact amongst everybody, I think. Yeah.
I'm certain it will. And Antara, thank you very much. The greatest compliment that I got as an MC when I got off stage and when the panelists came in and you said, "Why did you get off the stage? We want to hear you more." And that was, I told my friend, look at so Dolly, this for you. You hear what Andhra had said, and Andhra, thank you so much. Andhra, thank you so much for your time, and it was a pleasure being in conversation with you. And I'm certain that your book is going to sell like hotcakes and going to be very popular, and it will be a bestseller very soon. So, guys, just go ahead and order right now, pre-order right now. If I don't know if you can pre-order right now, but
You
be
can.
ready for it. You can, okay. Blissfully yours always by Antara Mohan. Antara, thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you
Keep
so much,
smiling.
sir. Thank you so much for this, Rondu. Thank you.
Thank you.